Book 55, A Revolutionary Seduction Technique by Henrik Fexeus. Chapter 1. The Right Attitude. Before leaving the house, take the right attitude. What you set yourself up for, other people will pay attention to, and that's how they will treat you. This way you can create the impression that you are a confident and determined person, or cheerful and carefree. If you are cheerful and open, then the people around you will open up to you and enjoy communication, as your mood is transmitted to other people. If you behave insecurely, then the rest of you will be uncomfortable around you. When you meet a person you really like, the rest will cease to exist for you. Do not make your acquaintance with this person your main goal in life. Otherwise, you will ruin everything. You will worry so much about what this person will tell you that all your thoughts will get mixed up. In this case, you will feel uncomfortable. Therefore, the person next to you will also feel uncomfortable. You have to treat it in such a way that if a person wants to talk to you, then fine. If he doesn't want to, then there's nothing to worry about. You just keep going about your business. The world does not stop at one person. When you go outside, you can see 1,000 people like him. If you have set yourself up correctly, then you will not be afraid of any reaction from the person in front of you. For example, if you decide to treat everything from a positive point of view and are faced with rejection, you should not take it as a defeat or assume that it's about you. Just smile and make a joke about it. Sometimes this alone is enough to change the attitude towards you. If a person says no, it does not mean that they reject you as a person. Perhaps he just has something happened in his life, and he just wants to stay in seclusion. People who take no personally are selfish, because they believe that the whole world revolves around them. Always think that he only knows about you for a few seconds, so his attitude towards you cannot make any difference. Therefore, do not take no to heart. People do not like such a quality of character as obsession, as when a person tries too hard to please. Therefore, you should not overdo it, exaggeratedly courteous or laughing at every joke. On the contrary, it is repulsive. Stay natural. If it's funny, laugh, no. Then you shouldn't force yourself to do it. To further remove the uncertainty when talking to a person, imagine that you are already dating him and behave as you would behave with your girlfriend or boyfriend, depending on who you are. Surely you would have talked about all sorts of nonsense or had philosophical conversations. In this case, the conversation will immediately become relaxed and non-binding, so you will be yourself. If you are sociable and friendly with all people, and they will reach out to you, then the person you are interested in will also want to get to know you better. You've probably noticed that when you don't have a partner, you're almost ignored. But once he shows up, it's like everyone wants to get to know you. Because of their upbringing, each person grows up either open and sociable or withdrawn and shy. In the second case, you need to change yourself gradually, in small steps. First, you need to change your beliefs. Tell yourself that you are not shy, but a careful person. And after you accept this attitude, begin to open up a little and communicate more actively with strangers. Be sure to start a conversation with someone every day, with friends, the cashier, etc. You can also sign up for some courses where there are a lot of strangers and gradually get to know them, since you will have a common topic of conversation. The more you communicate, the easier it will be for you to do it. Chapter 2. Appearance. Always remember that everyone likes their own type. It is impossible for absolutely everyone to like it. At the same time, the attitude may change. For example, if at first someone did not like your appearance but liked your character, then their attitude towards appearance will change. Therefore, try to show others your character and that it is really interesting to communicate with you. This is much more important than appearance. At the same time, you should look good. No matter how wonderful your character is, a person will get their first impressions of you based on your appearance, clothes, hairstyle, etc. Clothes will immediately tell others who you are, how interested you are in fashion and appearance, and how boldly you are ready to express your sexuality. At the same time, you should look organic in your clothes, as if you dress like this every day. For example, some people don't look good in a suit, so they need to pick up something else. For others, the opposite is true. Chapter 3. First the impression, then the relationship. If it's still difficult for you to approach strangers on the street, then you can do it more cunningly. Cook dinner once a week, or more often, to which invite your friend, but ask him to bring someone else. It doesn't matter if you know him or not. And next time, ask new acquaintances to bring a friend with them. This way, you will gradually increase your social circle. Usually, watching a person, you begin to get an initial impression of him, so in a cafe or park, sit in the most prominent place and behave in such a way that others have a clear and positive opinion about you. And only then can you approach the girls and start a conversation with them, since they will already have a positive opinion about you. In this case, it will be much easier for you to make an acquaintance than if you came from nowhere and had to start everything from scratch. Your friends also influence the first impression of you. If your friends are rude, then you will also be considered that way, and it doesn't matter that you are different from them. As a result, you will have to prove the opposite. Sometimes it happens that the courtship is too long, and you get into the front zone. That is, your partner does not want to destroy your friendship because of an intimate relationship. This happens because you are overly procrastinating with the next stage of the relationship and forgot to create a sexual attraction. You can't expect it to happen on its own. First, you need to create an attraction, and only then build a relationship. That is, before you make a person feel comfortable with you, you need to ignite sexual desire in him. For example, at the end of your meeting, try to kiss a girl. And even if she doesn't answer you, you will still make it clear that you are counting on something more than just friendship. At the right moment, you need to learn how to radiate sexuality. As we remember, all your feelings are reflected in your behavior. How confident you are in yourself is indicated by your behavior, and it is these signals that you send to others. To do this, use the anchoring method. Sit down and think about the person you desire the most. Imagine everything you do with him in bed. When you feel warmth spreading through your body, reinforce this feeling with a gesture or word, for example, by clenching your fist or saying a neutral word out loud. And do it every time you experience this feeling. And at the moment when you need to increase the degree of your sexuality, just whisper this word to yourself or repeat the gesture. Your body will remember the feeling that you have fixed with this gesture or word, and you will experience this feeling again. You will notice how your facial expression will change, and you will start moving in a different way. But be careful at the same time and do not use the gestures that you use every day. At the beginning of a relationship, it's good to have something that only you two would know about, like a secret or a joke. For example, you can come up with a story about other people at a party that only you would know. This way, you will create a close emotional connection with the person you like, and later, you will be able to cheer him up with just one word. Then you can offer this person somewhere to retire. For example, go outside to breathe or walk to the nearest store. So in small steps, you let the person know that she can spend time with you in a familiar and comfortable way. And this will then help you take a big step, like asking her out on a date or going somewhere to relax. Rule 3. Yes usually works here, which sounds like this. A person likes to be consistent in his actions, so if he agreed to your previous requests, it will be more difficult for him to refuse you, and he's already used to spending time with you and doing things together. If you see a beautiful girl and want to get to know her, but she shows with all her appearance so that she is not disturbed, first find another person with whom you can talk. After you talk to a couple of people, it's time to approach the one you wanted to talk to initially. Surely she will already notice your sociability and the ease of making new friends, and she will become curious. And the only way to find out what's special about you is to talk to you. And even if you get a refusal, you will not sit alone, but will be able to return to previous interlocutors. If a girl came with a friend, then you need to like her too. And when you want to be alone with her, then bring your friend or friend to her friend so that they start chatting. Only then will you be able to retire with her somewhere. Otherwise, she will not leave her friend alone. It is better to start dating with a friend. Give her some time and then switch to the one who really interests you. Just don't overdo it, otherwise the beauty will think that you are interested in her friend and will just leave, leaving you two alone. You have to take responsibility for yourself. For example, don't ask a girl if she wants to come to you. Surely she will refuse because she does not want to look easily accessible. Therefore, do not ask, thereby shifting the responsibility to her, but offer. For example, come to my place, I'll show you some cool fish. Thus, the girl relieves herself of responsibility and reassures herself that she really went to look at the fish, although she actually understands what will happen next. Try to be the most creative. For example, if you see that you have a beautiful girl in front of you, believe me, she has already been complimented 100 times on this occasion. Therefore, your compliments should be directed at something point-wise. You can tell that she has perfectly made nails or a beautiful dress. This way, you will immediately show that you are different from the rest. Chapter 4. Accessibility. We always want what is difficult for us to get or what does not belong to us. If you want to win a girl, then you should not humbly beg for her favor. It is necessary for you to show ease and inaccessibility. If you indulge all her whims, then this makes you easily accessible and ready for anything, which on the contrary repels. You have to show that you know your worth. And if you see that you are being manipulated, then say that you will not tolerate this and just leave. Thus, the person realizes that he can lose you and will value the relationship more. But this only works at the dating stage. It will alienate a regular partner. That is, you need to show that you like the person by complimenting and praising him, but at the same time, demonstrate that you can live without him. The human psyche is designed so that the more often you meet with a person, the more they like you. Therefore, at the first meeting, you need to please the person, and then try to show yourself to him as often as possible. When you want to get to know someone, always limit yourself in time. When you approach a girl, she doesn't know how long your conversation will take and feels uncomfortable. So start the conversation by saying that you only have a couple of minutes, and then you need to get back to your friends. So you want to get to know her quickly and take her number to meet later. In this case, the girl will relax, since you have made it clear to her that you are not going to bother her all evening. Secondly, you will show that your time is valuable and you are not going to devote it only to her. Chapter 5. Know your worth. When complimenting a person, do not forget about yourself. Don't brag, but show that you deserve to be admired. For example, say that both she and you are excellent and perfect for each other, and then set up the next date. You usually treat yourself the way others treat you. If they praise you, then you think you deserve it. But if they don't put you in anything, then you consider yourself worthless. Therefore, if you present yourself as a brave, confident person, then others will see you that way and appreciate you. And if you are cherished, then your self-esteem will increase. Subconsciously, you will decide that you are indeed a brave and confident person if others perceive you that way, and gradually your behavior will always correspond to this. That is, by changing the attitudes of others towards yourself, you can change yourself. Answer the request with a request. For example, if a girl asks to buy her a drink, then ask her to buy a drink for you, ostensibly to find out how you will guess each other's preferences. If she is really interested in you, she will take this step. Otherwise, you're just being used. Don't hide your weaknesses. People are used to the fact that in order to please someone, you need to present yourself as an ideal person. And when they hear someone talking about their weaknesses, it arouses their interest. The person understands that it doesn't matter to you whether you get his approval or not. Remember, to be attractive, you need to be both perfect and human at the same time. Chapter 6. Gestures of another person. In a state of arousal, your skin becomes very sensitive, and you acutely begin to feel any touch. And some people do autoerotics. They touch the back of their head, face, or lips. By these gestures, you can understand that it's time to stop talking about replacing the hard drive in the computer. Or you can do the same thing, and the person will unconsciously realize that you would like more than a conversation about music. If a girl's arms are crossed over her chest, this way she builds a barrier between you. In order to take it off, give the girl something in her hands, for example, a book or a pen. This will make her change her position and open up to you. Or adjust to her behavior by folding your hands in a similar way. And then, after a while, take your hands off your chest, and there is a high probability that the person will repeat after you. If a person takes a step back from you, then he is confused by your presence or uncomfortable. Therefore, first keep a significant distance between you, and as soon as you notice that the person has become comfortable in your presence, take a step forward. Pay attention to where the girl is looking. Usually when talking, a person looks into the eyes of the speaker. If a girl is attracted to you, then more often she will look at your mouth and lips. Try to circle your lips with your tongue, or bite them a little at this time and check the girl's reaction. This way, you will know if your assumptions are correct. At the same time, you should always look your partner in the eye. Long-term eye contact activates the nervous system, increases the pulse rate, causes a rush of blood, and stimulates the production of hormones. 5 seconds is enough for this. Chapter 7. The voice. Pay attention to how fast or slow the other person is talking and adjust to it. Firstly, it will be much easier for him to perceive your speech since she will not need to adjust. Secondly, people like those who look like them. Watch out for your parasite words and speak loudly and clearly. To do this, you can sometimes turn on the microphone when talking to your friends and then notice your mistakes. For example, speak consistently or chaotically, express your thoughts briefly, or crackle without a break, without letting the other say a word, how often you change the subject, or in what tone you speak. If you don't like your speech, then practice until you achieve the desired result. Make pauses during the conversation. Usually when a person is nervous, they start talking too fast. Don't make that mistake. Dilute your speech with pauses, and people will start listening to your words. But you shouldn't delay too much either. Chapter 8. A conversation with a stranger. When getting to know each other on the street, do not say hackneyed phrases, but adjust to the situation. Look at what a person is doing, and either ask for help or praise them. For example, if you see a girl looking at a movie poster, ask her to recommend something to you. At the same time, explain the reason why you are asking or making a compliment. Otherwise, I'm going to the cinema with a friend tomorrow, and I do not know what to watch. This way you can start a conversation and then smoothly move it to another topic. And forget about the words sorry or sorry at the beginning of the conversation, so you immediately put yourself at a disadvantage. After this introduction, start talking about the girl herself. For example, ask about her views, values, or interests. You should have enough topics to switch the conversation when the previous topic has exhausted itself. To do this, you should learn a little bit from each topic in order to keep the conversation going anyway. At the same time, ask open-ended questions that cannot be answered with yes or no, which has already been said more than once in other videos.